I'm going to scare you with an AI story, and I usually don't do this. I found that I've spent so many years scaring people with AI stories that it's not to everyone's taste, and I understand that. But right now, the Pentagon is trying to force one of the top, if not the top, AI company to basically give them a no guardrails included version of their product. Anthropic is being given a Friday 5 o'clock deadline to either give the Pentagon all the keys to the kingdom, or they get blacklisted and can't basically do government business in the future. So we can fight about the policy part of it and the ethics and so forth, but I just want to tell you a few things that AI is making possible already in the military and surveillance world, and why that's so scary, and why you should be worried about that, and why you should care that there's no democratic input. You don't get to vote on this. There's no legislatures that get to vote on this. There's no public, input process. None of that is happening, and as a result, you are just going to live in a world in which, as I'm about to tell you, even some of the stuff you already have in your house can be used to spy on you because of AI. So the big one from a few years ago that really made a lot of headlines in my world was one from Carnegie Mellon University, where this trio of students basically came up with a system that combines a system from Meta called DensePose and combines it with Wi-Fi signals from any three routers. All you need is three Wi-Fi routers, $30 routers in someone's home, to triangulate the position of people and begin creating a live video feed of those people and where they are at any given moment. You don't have to see them. You can do it from the other side of a wall. And as a result, you could park a van next to someone's house and know just where people are inside that house without having to have a warrant to look inside. DensePose. It's a crazy thing. I have each of these sourced and all the links and everything at theripcurrent.com for your chilling reading pleasure. Another one is a system developed for the special forces called Jetson. I don't know why they are constantly grabbing sci-fi tropes that were from a sort of utopian thing and then making them super scary, but or they'll make really scary things out of really scary sci-fi tropes. I don't really understand. They just never seem to understand the sci-fi tropes. Anyway, Jetson is a system that uses a laser to read your heartbeat from a distance at about 200 feet, I think it is. Maybe it's yards. And at that distance, they can identify your heartbeat so precisely that they can actually identify you individually from it. One researcher from SUNY Buffalo told reporters that it is more consistent over time than facial recognition and has about 98% accuracy. And this is a thing where you can't cover it. You can't cover your heart. You can't leave it at home, right? You can't take any of the normal steps you would want to. And the last one I'll tell you, there's a whole list of them at theripcurrent.com, but the last one I'll mention to you is recently a contractor, defense military contractor called Otarian. I've never said the name out loud. I've only read it. They are an Arlington, Virginia-based company, and they created a system where, for years, we've talked about human in the loop, that you have to have a human involved in a kill decision. But this is a company that just did a demonstration in which they not only had a system that didn't need a human to make the kill decision, they had a system that was comprised of multiple products from different companies, drones and fixed-wing aircraft and all these things, all being controlled by a single piece of AI. And that system can do the operation, find somebody, and kill them without any humans involved. If a military were to choose to do that, you basically are relegated as the human in the loop there to a position of not saying yes, do this, but just being like someone who just decides whether or not you're going to stand in its way. So you go from human in the loop to human in the loop to be able to possibly say no to why wake the human up at all? Let's just kill this guy. We've identified him by his heartbeat and we know where he is in the house because of the Wi-Fi, and now let's go get him. So I say all of this not to just be dystopian, but to say when Anthropic says we don't want to give you everything, this is the world that they know we're entering, a world in which people have already shipped some really creepy shit that is absolutely poised to violate your civil rights and make it possible for people to kill humans without ever having to consult their own ethics and feelings about it, much less look that person in the eye. And so when you think about the Friday deadline that Pentagon is putting on Anthropic, I just have to say I'm grateful that any company is taking that kind of deadline seriously and not just saying, well, fuck it, we'll just give you whatever you want. This is a company that clearly knows that their stuff can be put to really scary purposes. They have a policy page that basically says you shouldn't be allowed, their product won't be used to identify someone's emotional state or physical location without their consent, that you can't use AI to enhance weapons. They're trying to be on the right side of history here. And it turns out that staying on the right side of history is going to be increasingly hard considering how fast some really scary stuff is getting built.